Hello, good evening. It's another Wednesday here and 25th day of July, and we welcome you one and all to Journalist Hangout. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Today on the program, Benue Governor Ortom defects from APC to PDP, just as President Buhari wishes defectors well. And later on, we'll share this with you. Amid rising oil prices, CBN's Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, wants government to save for the rainy day. Let me announce I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoji. Jide, good evening to you.
I agree too.
I haven't seen Dekule Yusuf in a long while. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, good. You are happy, so I'm happy. All right, the team is ready. I hope you are too. All right, then, the cycle of political anomie in our country continued today with the long-anticipated reported defection of Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom from the All Progressives Congress, APC, to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Earlier on Monday, 15 senators and 37 reps jumped ship to the opposition, PDP, and one to the African Democratic Congress, ADC. In his usual candor, President Muhammadu Buhari, while noting that none of the defectors had any specific grievances against him or the APC-led government, wished them well. But Senate President Bukola Saraki drops the biggest hint yet on leaving the ruling party. As far as he is concerned, he says a new invitation by the police over the Offa robbery incident is a ploy to force him to remain. Let's hear from Senator Saraki first of all before we get cracking.
Very, very high because, we have 3 senators from my state who have defected. I'm in the House of Representatives, so 6 has defected. So I will consult with them. And then I'll make my position known to my constituency first and then to the general public. We must give good examples. Today was not a good day for that, and it took a lot, and in some of us, a threat to our lives really against all that. My deputy senate president could not come here. The plan was neither for him he was surrounding his house, I was surrounding my house, but I was able to make it here, all because some people felt that they wanted to stop people from changing parties.
Again, Jide, for the umpteenth time, when things appear awry in politics, you can be sure it was planned to be that way. So the Senate President is playing a waiting game.
Yes. Whoever does not know that Saraki's future is not in the APC must be extremely naive, because, yes, his outriders have left the party. That is the biggest indication that his own days and the APC.
Okay, he's outriders. I rather like that phrase.
Yes, his outriders. Left the party. Saraki is the leader of the insurgency within the APC. And ultimately, the leader of the insurgency will leave the party. It's just a matter
after
of
biding his time.
Yeah, they know what they are doing. They've been planning this for so long. So every action taken is meant to achieve an aim. And I'm saying that on the 25th of September, we will see more drama. Those who are calculating how many members do we have now and all that, they are wasting their time. Because on September 25, a lot of things will happen. Some could even still leave the PDP for APC. Because it happened in 2014.
As the Americans say, we ain't seen nothing yet.
We've not seen anything. In fact, like 1 month, 2 months to the election, some people will defect, because it happened the last time. People like Ortom defected the day after he lost the primaries of his own party. And the APC had cleverly, knowing that it was not strong enough at that time to take power, the APC amended its constitution amended his constitution to allow anyone who joins the party today to be able to contest any elective post in the party the next day. Remember what happened to Magatagata Wamaku when he was taken to court after he became governor of Sokoto State.
Yeah, I remember.
The famous Salami matter. Yeah. Because he should have been in the PDP for 6 months. So the APC wisely amended their constitution to ensure that if you leave today, you can contest a position. And they did that because of the powerful people in the PDP that they were targeting. So you had someone like Atiku Bagudu in Kebbi State. He couldn't win the primaries of his party, the governorship primaries of his party. He crossed to the APC and became governor. And he won the election. The same thing with Ortom and some other people like that, even senatorial positions. So this is the thing. Once some people lose the primaries of their party, they will still defect. So this defection has only just begun.
Kule, so it's all about permanent interest here. So Ortom's defection does not come as a surprise to you, no?
It didn't come to me as a surprise. And nobody can tell me that there's one politician in this country today who is in politics without an interest. They all have interests. And that is why it is, you see them crisscrossing from one party to another.
It bothers me, Kule, you know, it bothers me if it is about getting that governorship or senatorial ticket and not about the people. That's the kind of interest that bothers me.
It is not about service to the people.
Okay.
You need to look at it critically, and you will agree that it is certainly not about service to the people. Reason means that in the kind of politics we play, it is about self-interest. And that is why what happened before President Muhammadu Buhari came to power, the gale of defections, you're having a replay of the same thing now. So some of them will say, I don't have problem with this, you have problem. They will always have problems because when you look at the APC and the PDP, there is absolutely nothing that differentiates the party, except the fact that one is a ruling party now, then one is a former ruling party, is now opposition. So even though some will want to make themselves happy and say we are progressives, there is nothing progressive in anybody as that we have in Nigeria today. The difference between PDP and APC is just like, say, 6 and half a dozen. The public seems to have...
Same difference.
Okay.
Same difference.
Same of the same.
You know, Ortom's jumping ship a day after the state speaker of the assembly was impeached. Is there a nexus here?
Oh, it could have been arranged. No doubt about it. You know, politicians are good at holding meetings. When you are on your bed, enjoying the comfort of your bed, they are busy holding meetings. They don't sleep early. Some of them stay awake up to 3 a.m. And it's the reason some of them also don't live long, because the body needs adequate rest. But they like nocturnal meetings. If the politicians hold a meeting at 4 o'clock today, you are part of that meeting. They're already planning another one for 2 a.m. But you, that they don't want you to be part of that meeting, they will effectively ensure that you don't get the notice for the nocturnal meeting. And decisions affecting you, affecting your future in the party will be taken. You have no one to speak for you. This is the nature, the treacherous nature of politics in Nigeria. So this, I believe that everything that you are seeing, as I said earlier, this thing had been planned. Ortom knows that he cannot win. He can't win the election right now. You see, the way things are.
Even with the...
On the platform of the APC, he cannot win the election. And even if he moves to another party, I don't see him winning the election. Because the issues, there are so many issues.
If you have any right to speak here with a tone of finality.
Because you've asked me a question and I'm providing answers in my own way. So this is the way I see it. When that time comes and my prediction fails to come to pass,
You apologize publicly.
I will wait for people to tell me. But you know, these things happen. We say this will happen, and people see it.
And most times we get it right.
Yes, that is the thing. So see, once you make a habit of speaking straight from your heart without sentiment, honestly, as an analyst, most times you will get it right.
Yeah.
And the Ortom thing you are talking about, don't forget that he has a running battle with the former governor,
Akume.
Akume, yeah.
He has a big battle. So
Akume is staying back.
Akume is just like the political, yes, it's just like the godfather of, of politics in the state. So it's
So what's the place? What's the place of Suswam in all of this?
No, Suswan is politically irrelevant now. He misgoverned.
Your words.
No, sorry, he misgoverned the state. When he left the state, if you did well after 8 years, you'll be loved by your people.
Yeah.
Suswan, with what Suswan did in the state, people just need to be forgiving enough to allow him to even enter the state or even live among themselves. I'm sorry, he did the most unthinkable things. But that is apart.
But our people are very forgetful. Because I've seen people defect.
Did they unforgiving?
I'm forgiving. I've seen people defect to the PDP from that same Benue. There are stories. If you Google it. And some of those defections are from Suswam's area.
But what we are saying now is individuals. People don't care about parties anymore. People don't care about parties anymore. If you think the problem is PDP or the problem is APC, that's not true. So the problem between Ortom and the former governor, Akume, is big enough to cause division, total division between. You will see that Ortom, dissolved his cabinet, removed the loyalists of Akume, brought in his own people. Then, because he has a hold
you would have done the same.
He has a hold on the state assembly, and virtually all of them, majority of them, joined him. So it won't speak well of them to now allow a minority to now still be the speaker, to be the. So that was why they just perfected. It's just to finalize the whole thing yesterday. And then today, this morning, while people were still thinking maybe he's in or he's out, he made it official. I am no longer. He's been talking about red card for a long time, and now
he gave himself the red card.
No, he said the party. At least he said the party gave.
No, he has formally given himself.
No, the party summoned him and asked him to give account of certain things, at least by the other group. So what have you done? You are owing social salary. What have you done with bailout? What have you done this? I think he saw that as equivalent of a query. So now, they've given me a red card.
So accountability is not the word here. So, Jide, we can say without any iota of doubt that Chairman Oshomole could not mend fences with him.
Because
make him stay.
Because Oshomole is working hard, reaching out to these people. And as I said before, some of those who will have defected have refused to defect because Oshomole has really spoken to some of them. He's made some gains, no doubt about it. In the House of Reps, they were expecting up to 100 to defect, but it has not happened. In the Senate, they were expecting up to 30 to defect, but so far, about 14, So it's because they are engaging.
Not that they are adopting a look-see attitude.
You mean the others?
The others, yeah.
No, there are still a few. I'm saying that the people that they worked on, that they expected to defect, were about 30 from the Senate.
Okay.
But because they are constantly engaging these guys, you can see all the meetings late into the night, even Wamako and the rest of them, the president had to talk to them, So because of that, they have kind of slowed down the PDP tsunami. So Oshomole has made some gains. That's why you see clearly that only about 14 have defected. Well, there is also, Ondume was saying in the papers that Saraki just wrote people's names, that those who we felt will leave. Of course, that's a lie.
That's not true.
Politicians lie a lot without honor.
That's not true.
All those people who defected, they were on the floor of the Senate when their names, you have to write that you want to leave. And if anybody mentions your name as one of those defecting, and you are there, if you are not defecting, right there you will say, Mr. Senate President, I'm objecting to this. I ought not to be on that list. Soji, I expected him to have complained on the floor of the Senate. He didn't complain. But he came out and complained. Now, out of the people that Saraki has listed amongst those living, how many people has done a press conference to say, no, he put my name there in error? There are even lies that you can tell skillfully. You can't say that they just gathered people, that all of them are back. It's just, this is not the thing. These guys, a lot of them, some of us knew those who would leave, and they had been engaging them. If that was the case, Shehu Sani ought to be the first person on that list.
Oh, yeah, but I expected him to have
But they're engaging them.
Okay.
I said something last week that forget the story that, oh, they can leave. Because these APC leaders are talking to these guys, promising them automatic tickets. So
which is the mainstay here.
Yeah, that is why their problem with some of their governors is that those governors don't want them to return. Those governors want to punish them. Now, if you are the leader, Shomole has shown that he is the one in charge. Nobody in the state can issue anybody with a red card.
Okay.
The party is supreme to anybody. So now Shomole is showing that, look, the future, you have a future in my party, and I want to assure you that you have a future. So those tickets, if this is why you people are rebelling against the party, okay, this party has you have a future in this party, we offer you this, what happens? So that is what is happening, and it's trying to slow down. Now look at the way Bajabi Amila spoke. He said, I'm sure a lot of you expected about 100 people to leave.
Oh, yeah.
But now you are disappointed. Only 30 something are leaving, you know, which still gives the APC a hefty majority in the House of Reps. So it's because they are constantly talking to them. If they show too much arrogance, they don't engage these people, the party will be embarrassed. There will be, if they are not careful, these people will even have two-thirds majority, which they can use to embarrass the president.
Kule, let's look at the G14 with Ortom crossing in Benue. The G14 in the state of the PDP is saying, true, you have come, but your ticket for governorship is not automatic. So he has another round of wahala there.
No, that's people who don't understand the position of a governor may just say anything. As a governor of a state, you have a lot of structures around you. If a big fish moves into any party, forget
to any water.
Believe me, they know how to bend the rules. You can say whatever, but when it comes to the time, they know what to do. The national leadership of the party is there. It's a big catch. When the APC was taking people from PDP at that time, they knew what they were doing. So many people thought that they would run back to PDP when they were disappointed in the APC. You know, it's so funny that APC, that was like the most beautiful bride when they just came into power, that almost every politician in Nigeria wanted to, defect into APC, join that forces, 3 years down the line, people are still moving out of the same party. It's so funny to me, like the character of our politics, that what is really the problem. But when you look at it critically, the problem we have now is that we don't really have party system. We don't have political parties in the true sense of it. What we have are just vehicles for achieving personal, ambitions. We didn't, because when you look at the structure of all the political parties, they are not real political parties in the way they should be. Ordinarily, what does APC symbolize? What does PDP stand for? They may tell you they have one thing, they don't know, but you don't have an ideology and keep it in the wardrobe. You walk it, you live it, you do it in a way that people know that if anybody's on the ticket of this party, this is what they are meant to do. At every layers of government, that is not happening in Nigeria.
Jide, in all of this, the voter, the elector is largely illiterate, politically speaking. And so, don't you think this is why the politicians have their way?
Poverty is also a big factor. You can see that the INEC is asking that vote buying should be criminalized.
Who buy?
They say vote buying.
Who will criminalize it? Isn't it your...
It should be in the laws. In our,
who will write the laws? Nobody, these same people.
But it's INEC now that has not got the power to amend our laws that is proposing that, look, do this.
But
because INEC...
The same people who are to make these laws are these people we are talking about, yeah?
Yes. Yes. I'm heading somewhere. You see, the truth is, there is no way that politicians won't take advantage of our people, given the rampant poverty amongst our people.
Induced.
Rampant poverty. I don't want to use the word induced. It's the reality that there is rampant poverty. However that poverty came, it is rampant in our land. So they take advantage of it, whether it is direct primaries that you are doing or indirect primaries, people, you still get to give people money. If we have a solid political culture, once the bells are rung that the political season has begun, every citizen knows the role that is expected to play. Nobody needs to come and get you out of your home to come and vote. And educated citizens will lead the line, not illiterate who cannot even differentiate the symbols of the political parties. But what do we have? Educated people who can make change happen. They stay away from voting.
Don't vote,
They are apolitical. They are unconcerned.
They don't vote.
They are the ones who will say, at the end of the day, they will write the figures. So such cynicism has clearly ensured that people do not really care about our electoral contest anymore because they think, they will write the figures, our votes won't count. But if we continue to get better with our electoral processes, that time will come when all of these things that politicians do to you and I, they will not be able to do. And we will be able to put the right people in power because vote rigging will be a thing of the past. It is only those who deserve to win that will win. When we get to that point, you will see that true progress will happen in our land. As long as people can force themselves into power, people can rig themselves into power, honestly, we can't make real progress. Because when those people who have rigged themselves into power fail to serve you and I, you are powerless to change them.
Yes.
That is the situation.
Kunle, and you expect our religious leaders of all faiths now to be a part of this regeneration, you know. Let the pastor preach what is right, educate, because voter education is supposed to come from, I think INEC has an enlightenment unit which should go to town. I hear we have a caller now. Tunde is here in Lagos. Tunde, how are you? Welcome.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, welcome very much, especially Baba Tunde. Yeah, I want to say one thing about this PDP and APC. They are all the same. The difference is just 12. The difference is just between those one does it 12 and one saying 12 or does it. You see, the first time Buhari become president, I need that and say, so I would be alive to see when this country will change. So I never knew I'm just bluffing. The truth is always complaining, saying that they are trying in corruption, they are trying in agriculture. Go to market, everything is terrible. Go to everywhere. Police are still doing the same. Nothing is changing. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, today, but this is not saying we should not take up battle against corruption. We are talking about electoral corruption is the worst. Electoral corruption, it is the worst.
It should just take the bull by the horn and do the right thing. We are fed up. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. So as voter education, he is thinking of an idyllic society, not our necessarily own, utopian. So I'm wondering, they say ours is a nascent democracy. I keep asking, when will you leave the classroom?
I think I could aligned with that thought in 1999, 2000, and so on. Now, after about how many years? Almost 20 years. I don't think we should be having a nascent democracy. But the truth is, are we really growing? Are we really improving this democracy? Believe me, we are not. We are getting worse than some years ago. Oh, look at what happened recently. Some people invaded the National Assembly, you know, stole the mace, and no heads rolled.
You didn't see them?
You didn't announce them.
You didn't see the heads?
And you didn't, because you didn't announce. If you arrested some people and tried them, possibly jailed them, believe me, that is an assault, a brutal assault on our democracy. Forget,
you talk about
forget the interest of any party or any...
Impunity is the problem here.
Yeah. Then, look at what happened yesterday. The police had the temerity to come out to say they didn't do this, they didn't do that. Nigerians, the police as an institution is now taking Nigerians for a ride. Some people will say we don't have strong institutions. Is this how we will grow our institutions? We are politicizing.
Without strong men.
We are politicizing everything. Jide spoke about criminalizing vote buying.
Yeah.
Fine, it will be a good thing, but in Nigeria it will not work. At some point, issue of capping electoral expenses was not in our law. They made it part of our law. How many people?
Let me take you to Adamawa. Okay. Abdul Karim is waiting. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
How do you do, sir?
I'm doing fine. I want to comment over what is happening on cross-carpeting in the issue of party.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, my problem and my view over what is happening is something that people that lose capacity in their area, they don't have people, they are going against development in this country. We all know them. Even they didn't cross carpet, they are going to lose election in their destination. That's the point of view for common people in northern Nigeria. But let them wait for 2019. They will see what will happen.
Okay.
All these things that you people are seeing cross-carpeting is just issue of time. Just give 2 months to come. Most of people, they will understand what is democracy because of common people. They know that Mr. Buhari loves this country.
All right, Abdul Karim, you speak like a prophet. I wish your prophecy Godspeed. Thank you very much. But then I hear we must take a breather. We'll be back. Don't go away. Okay, welcome back. It's no longer news that Benue Governor Samuel Ortom defected earlier on today. And so Mr. President is saying, we wish you well, and all the other defectors, especially because you don't have a problem with me,
Yes,
but with your...
That's what the president said.
Yeah.
You know, they do not have any issue with the president. They said that openly. But how about with their governors? Are you going to tell me that Kwankwaso does not have problems with his governor? He's been effectively shut out of politics in the party, in the state. He doesn't have any delegates. In the last congresses, he was effectively shut out. He's not been able to visit his state for almost 3 years now. You know? So are you saying that under that situation...
Personal safety or something?
No, even when he wanted to come, the police
didn't.
told him that it would lead to breach of the peace, that he should not come.
Wow.
And they had to appeal to him, so he stayed away. You go to a place like Adamawa with the heresy that Governor Bindo did in that state. Governors will ensure that other people can't play any part. People that they don't like cannot play any part in the congresses of their party. And you want those people to remain. It's just now that Okorocha is trying, Oshomole is trying to address some of those issues. Those injustices led to what the APC now faces. So if the president is saying, oh, they don't have issues with me, but they have with other people. They have in their states.
And by extension, have with you.
And then have with the party. That's what you had. If you watch the interview we had today with Senator Yusuf from Taraba, that's what he said. He said many of these governors have been effectively marginalized in their states. That if they could have more engagement, because these guys are in politics to serve their interests, the same way those governors too want to serve their interests. So if we shut people out, if we muffle people's voices, you are telling them to go elsewhere, where their interests will be best served. That's what is happening.
But it's for me, okay.
Do you know that? Do you know why I disagreed with that? They don't have a president. They don't have a problem with Mr. President. I disagreed. One, look at Kano that he just mentioned. Kwankwanso oversaw the election that delivered the largest number of votes to the presidency. Abi?
From any state here.
Okay, in Nigeria. But immediately after, the problem started between him and the guy and the man who succeeded him. You know how close they've been over the years. But Mr. President has visited Kano at least once. What has he done about it? He should have brought them together. Go to Kaduna State, when one power-drunk governor was demolishing people's houses because they are not on the same page. And almost every day, you see him side by side with Mr. President. As the leader of the party, you are the national leader of the party. You call a fight to order that, please, I want this house to be intact. Nobody says no to Mr. President. You can go on from one state to another, from one state to another. If anybody now says they don't have a problem with Mr. President, I would disagree. They have a problem with Mr. President because Mr. President didn't intervene at the right time. All this reconciliation that is taking place now is coming too late.
State it properly. That's not the people having with Mr. President.
I'm talking about
President says this is Mr. President speaking. Yes. I don't see those defectors having problems with me
as a person.
So
they too
directly they didn't have. Indirectly they have.
They too always say that they do not have any issue with Mr. President, but in their states. For example, I don't think that Dogara, anyone can say Dogara does not like the president. Because even when Saraki refused to respect his own party by allowing a letter emanating from his party to be read on the floor and do the bidding of his party, Dogara did the bidding of his party. So Dogara, in my view, has never been disrespectful to the president.
Or to the party.
Or to the party. But what do we have today? His own governor in Bauchi effectively shut him out of the political space in the state. And then you want someone that can see clearly that you are trying to asphyxiate him. You want him to still remain there when there are... It's just like a man who has a wife, whose wife continued to deny him the thing. Of course, he will look elsewhere. Because if there's an opportunity elsewhere, you don't expect me to continue to stay where I know that I will be routinely denied. So that is the thing.
And dying instrumentally.
Dying instrumentally. It's not a man's thing. It's not what any man likes to go through.
Kunle, can you imagine your friend? But again, let's...
But you got the instrumental
No, it's all right.
Not me introduce that one.
I don't withdraw. I don't withdraw. Look at this now. The big man syndrome in Nigeria. Let's go there. We have too many strong men in Nigeria. Too many strong men. Too many. Are not too good for our setting. One strong man, too many for an environment like us.
With so much ego.
I think he's part of our
evolution.
culture. No, part of our culture that we took into politics. Because if you look at...
Kule, is that really us?
No, yes. If you look at the African culture, look at the Yoruba, for example, look at the Hausa, look at
the macho thing.
You look at our culture, you realize that this, worshiping one, the Oba or the Emir, so we love to have one big man that all of us we have to counter, So we took this into politics. When you look at democracy, sometimes I want to feel like losing hope that can this country really make it with this kind of with democracy? But nobody likes dictatorship. So I look at it that the way we play politics in Nigeria, we can never make it.
No, but there is so much dictatorship
Because
even in this one.
even
there is so much dictatorship
because even in the party,
democracy.
that's what I'm talking. Even from there is no party that has what they call true internal democracy. It's one big man that will dictate something and will push everybody with cash to follow that suggestion.
Governors are the ones who hold on to the
when
register
you go
of their parties.
Yes, then you see people, you know, who you don't know yesterday. All of a sudden, because of cash, they become something. After being elected, they take care. They say the governor is the leader of the party in the state.
Okay. You know what? Let me tell you what one governor did.
He leads the executive. Then he also leads the party.
Hold on. Let me tell you what one governor did.
We must bury this. I'm told we must bury it.
Oh, they don't want me to tell Nigerians what one governor did.
No, Jide, take 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30
you
seconds.
See, one governor was helped to become governor by another governor, by a former governor. So you know what he did? There were like 6 people in his living room waiting for him, including the man who installed him. So when he walked into the living room and saw all of them seated, he said, you,
Out.
you, I'll see you within 10 minutes. You, I don't want to see you. You know who he pointed at? The man who installed him. That's the point that you are making, that once people get there, yes, they start treating others like captured people. That's the kind of politics that we play.
All right, gentlemen, let the debate continue. But you know, something is very, very glaring here. What a man fears, he tries to destroy. That's whatever a man fears, whatever a man does not understand, he fears, and whatever he fears, he tries to understand. I mean, destroy. Come on, Jones.
You are mixing them all.
No. It's all right. I think I got it. So now let's move to our next subject. Oil prices may be rising, and therefore revenue earnings may trigger a near spendthrift posturing by government. But the nation's banker, the central bank, has frowned at what it describes as the Federal Allocation and Fiscal Committee's growing allocation of resources without a recourse to robust savings for the future. The Bank's Monetary Policy Committee wants the central government to initiate strong stabilization programs and to freeze the growth in its aggregate expenditure and fact distributions in order to create saving. Good thinking, as always. Good thinking. Yeah. We've been there before. Oil prices had been very high. We made money.
Yes.
We didn't save.
And at that time, at the beginning of 2015, CNN rated Nigeria as the second fastest growing economy in the world, behind China.
I think at about 7% at the time.
It was behind China at that time. I remember clearly. So everyone could see clearly that Nigeria was headed in the right direction economically. In terms of foreign direct investment, we towered above South Africa. Everyone wanted to come here. Yeah, at the time, driven largely by crude oil sales.
Money.
Crude oil sales.
Petrodollars.
Yes. Suddenly, when the oil prices began to go down, because we didn't have the buffers that we needed, and people like Sanusi have campaigned to these politicians, let us save. Let's save. Let's have the cushions. Let's have the cushions that in the event of a slide in oil prices, we can fall back on. They didn't listen. Even Aganga's efforts to have us save money sufficiently in form of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, we also resisted. Governors went
to court.
Governors went to court. Some of the noisy people today, some of them are even in government today.
The big men
and when they are abusing the former administration, they open their mouths too and abuse the PDP. Whereas they were among the people who frustrated the effort of the government of that time to save money. Because the internet, you know, the internet is a good store of history. If you go by, you see how they went to court, how even the Supreme Court advised them to try to settle out of court. You know? And what were they banking on? The major plank of the argument was that the Constitution says all monies made by the country should be shared among the three tiers of government. Yes, it's there in the Constitution. But shouldn't we also use our senses? And that's what this man is, the Monetary Policy Committee, that's what they are driving at now. That they can see that between 2017 and 18, oil prices are begun to go up.
Yeah.
Now, what are we doing?
74 today.
Every year, every month, what the distributable revenue goes up. States are ready to gobble all the money. Federal governments ready to gobble all the money. No attention is paid to how we can save a little of this consistently so that we can increase, we can grow the buffers. In the event of a drought, that was the language that they use. In the event of a drought, we are in rainy season now. In the event of a drought, what do we do? If we do not have enough buffers, you'll be in trouble. You and I remember how healthy Venezuela used to be.
Oh, yeah.
And Venezuela, with no less than 18 refineries, doing very well. It was like a model to other countries. And even Chavez could poke his nose at people. Chavez could embarrass even big world leaders because his country was doing well. They didn't know that a day will come when oil prices will go as low as $30 per barrel.
And it's so fat.
So this is where we are now. This is where we are. We slipped into recession, not so much for the fact that people were stealing money. We slipped into recession because we didn't save sufficiently, because oil prices went down. We were not the only country that slipped into recession on account of oil prices going down. But countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Norway, they had sufficient buffer. That is what these people are advising us to do, and it makes sense. Although I know they won't listen to them. States that cannot pay salaries of workers, you want them to agree that we should save some of the money. They are going to fight you. They won't agree.
It won't work.
They won't agree.
It can't work.
What won't work?
I will tell you why it will not work.
No, what won't work? Saving for the rainy day.
For the governors to key into the idea of let's save, it can't work. Most states are not up to date in the payment of civil servants.
And pensions.
And this is a lot of money. Despite increase in what they share at the end of the month, you realize that what is really happening. But don't forget that many of the big men of today, as Jide said, were the ones who resisted the idea of saving in the past. Emefiele may be a gentleman, who want to use gentle language.
Subtle language.
Sanusi is a different human being. His rhetoric, but in spite of that, they resisted him. We paid for it. Now, this is not the first time CBN is saying this. I think they said the same thing in April. This should be maybe the second or third time they are saying the same thing. But our people are busy thinking about
and you add this to
defections.
Add this to the near prodigal nature of the NNPC at remitting money and in time.
Unfortunately, the NNPC is doing it with impunity, and nobody seems to care. And the people that should even call them to order, we don't seem to hear anything. So when anybody is telling me that this present crop of leaders will embrace savings at this moment, when most of them
approaching elections,
are looking for money to fight their political enemies, to retain their states, to retain their seats, to go higher, to do everything, I don't think it's just mere talk.
And to hold court.
It's just mere talk. It's just mere talk. It's just talk.
But there are implications for
not doing
this.
Obviously.
Countries that used to be below us in terms of savings in form of the sovereign wealth fund, they've all overtaken us. I was even looking at some African countries. Honestly, it would be embarrassing if I list African countries that have overtaken us in terms of savings into the sovereign wealth fund. We just don't. We are just not prepared to do.
Is your country ever embarrassed by anything? Ask yourself.
When you go, I was telling someone
Are you ever
that,
embarrassed?
you know, the truth is, a lot of decent people amongst us get embarrassed. If you go to even Ghana, for example, you go to their airport. From the airport, you see what's on ground. Come back to your country, you see your own. The feeling that you have is that everybody has left Nigeria behind, because you don't expect those countries, those little countries, to do, to be better than your country at such things. Countries that your country, our country, was financing. Those frontline states, remember?
I remember, yeah.
You know where they are now.
70s
You
and
know
so
where
on.
Botswana is now. You know where Rwanda is now. It's rated now as Africa's fastest growing nation.
Yes.
In every way, even in technology,
Yeah.
they're beginning to do well.
Yes.
That was a country that was almost wiped out by violence the other day. So we need a crop of leaders who understand that, look, this country, this country has to develop in a systematic way. This country has to not just catch up with the countries ahead of it, but should overtake them. At independence, we were in the same class with Brazil, with Singapore, with Malaysia.
With Malaysia.
Where are we today? All of those countries have
And you are
overtaken
struggling
us.
to play catch-up. Kule, you know, I go back
I
there.
don't think we are even struggling to catch Malaysia, Singapore, and others. We are struggling to catch our African brothers.
You know, Kule, I said, I touched on it, even if in passing. I said, do you know, many of our big people listen to their religious leaders. This is the time for the clerics.
Preach the right message.
Yes, beyond prosperity and so on. Hit the nail on the head.
Unfortunately.
But you know, you also have this so-called, it is not our portion syndrome.
I said unfortunately, most of our religious leaders are even worse than the politicians we are.
You don't
criticized.
say.
Believe me. Hypocrisy. When you look at political leadership, their name is hypocrisy. When you come into the realm of, you know, religion, it is even worse. Today in Nigeria, the easiest way to make money and live big without having to answer charges from EFCC or ICPC is to go to establish, you know what to do.
You have provoked Mukhtar from Kano. He's here. I greet you. Welcome. Brother Mukhtar.
Mukhtar.
Hello, are you there?
Muhtari.
Yes, Babajide, how are you?
Fine, fine.
You see, most of our politicians, most of them are not sincere, and they are not committed to the development of the nation. They are too selfish, that's why they will not allow this saving to take place. So if they have been committed and they have been sincere to their nation, to their motherland, I think the development we could have reached will be outrageous. But unfortunately, as Babajide said, even salary to workers and pensions are not being paid. So what do you expect development from? We don't have light, we don't have good roads. How can we develop?
And so because you are not producing.
Thank you.
You are not producing, and so your currency cannot be strong.
So don't forget.
Thank you, Mukhtar.
Don't forget the roles played by big names in religion in this country in the last election.
Sorry.
Don't forget.
No vexo. Let me whisper. Out of the top 20 rich pastors on the planet, 5 Nigerians are on the list. 5.
You ask. Most pastors today want to show you the kind of private jet they have. That's to tell you how.
And if you complain to them, the country is asphyxiating. They tell you it's not our portion. You
Why
hear things like that.
Why do most
people ought to start standing up to this?
Why do
because
most
they are taking advantage of people.
Why do most religious organizations establish universities? Not to serve God. Not to serve humanity. No, they want to make money.
Not even for
and unfortunately, members of their own religious congregation, most of them cannot even afford.
And besides, a great many of them were trained by the public institutions.
By,
So-
by
so
those
when-
missionaries,
and
schools,
and these
where
are
they
the,
didn't pay that.
and
Yeah,
these,
that's it.
And these are the people you want to come and savage the situation. They are doing more harm than even the politicians. Because go to any congregation today, look at what they preach. It's not about Nigeria. It's not about humanity. It's about, you see preaching in favor of a political party, of an individual, against one, against this. What's the meaning of
The
that?
heavyweight pastor or imam must understand that at this table, at this hangout, we don't set out to willy-nilly carpet anybody. You have to do a lot of rethinking. Go inside and ask yourself, are you helping this country? Are you helping this country? Sunday is calling us. Okay, Sunday has left the line. How do we take it home?
Yeah, whether we are defecting in this transfer season or we are pastorpreneurs or big-time imams who are making money, let's just put Nigeria first. And it's the same message that I have for our leaders. If our leaders put Nigeria first, honestly, a lot of these negative things happening in our country will end. But it is all about them, all about them. People think just about themselves. It's time we began to think about Nigeria and how Nigeria can prosper during our time.
Because it can.
If the elites in politics, in religion, in the corporate world, everywhere, if they continue their conspiracy against Nigeria and they finally ruin the country, they should know that God will not forgive them.
All right, we'll leave it there for the evening. Thank you for your time. Jide, many thanks for your time, as always. And Adekunle, I greet you.
I'm greeting you too.
Okay, as we sit here, the viewer must understand we are not looking for a PDP or an APC answer to our problems, but a Nigerian answer to our collective problems, because these problems are man-made. Well, that's it on the program for this evening. Join us tomorrow for another episode, and also join Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on the screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel is the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. God bless the country.